What's up, guys? In today's video, we're going to be breaking down how to get consistent water damage jobs coming into your restoration business in 2025. There's a lot of different ways to get water damage jobs coming into the business, but there's three primary ones that I like more than anything else. We're going to break all those down in this video. What are they? What are the pros? What are the cons? Here's the deal. If you own a restoration company and you want to get more water damage jobs, you do not want to miss this video. Let's go. All right, guys, as we get started, do me a favor, hit the like and the subscribe button and drop a comment down below. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Now, as I get started, just know this, there's a lot of different ways to get jobs, but I'm just gonna focus on what I call my top three. This is like my trifecta, all right? I've gotten jobs from all kinds of different sources, but you're not gonna hear TPA, you're not gonna hear insurance program, you're not gonna hear property managers. I am concerned for water damage jobs, water damage. If I was doing fire or mold or roofing, maybe I would look at property manager or something like that. But because I'm not, we focus on water damage. This is what I'm gonna give you. These are my top three. So beginning of the list, well, let's go with internet marketing, okay? What is internet marketing? I'm just broadly speaking, anytime that you're getting jobs from a web address, then that's internet marketing, okay? A lot of people would call it SEO back in the day. SEO, in my view, does not work for water damage either, okay? Maybe for fire. And I know there's a lot of companies that do SEO. Just know this, when I have water damage, I'm not trying to read your About Us page, okay? That's just not how you're gonna get it. SEO is not good for getting water damage jobs. Now, there's a thing that I call maps marketing, where you can optimize your Google Maps page. You may have some SEO companies that offer that, but I would just tell you this, they're not really good at marketing, because I wouldn't call SEO like that. It's maps marketing. You're trying to optimize your Google Maps page, and in water damage restoration, appearing high in the Google Map pack it's a thing. It's what you want to do, right? But that's not traditional SEO. Anyway, side note, I'm just telling you this. If you own a restoration company, you don't need to be spending a bunch of money on SEO. You can, but it ain't gonna work, bro. It just ain't gonna work. Save you time. And if you don't know this stuff, go to workmachine.com. We can get on a call and I can show you exactly what we would do, right? In more detail than this YouTube video. And if the YouTube video gives it all to you, then don't call me. But if you want more, call me, all right? So internet marketing, broadly speaking, any way to get jobs or leads off of the internet. Now, there's a lot of different ways. There's different companies. So let's just start with pay per call, okay? That's where you're actually buying a live phone call. Pay per lead, that might be, you could call pay per lead, pay per call, but it could be a form fill as well, where someone says, hey, I've got water damage, what's your zip code? Like these millennials, dude, whatever, or the Gen Z, I don't know whatever you youngest kids are, these are texters, and a lot of you guys are just, your chatters online rather than calling somebody. So there's more and more water damage leads coming through form fill submissions and via chat than there used to be. And that's changed in recent years and will continue to change as we have AI and just more millennials. The more that all us old farts go away and the younger kids come on, things are just going to continue to change, okay? But anyway, pay per call, pay per click, pay per lead. These are just different things, but just know that you can get stuff off the internet, and there's companies that you can go to, like 33-mile radius, that will actually sell. You can sign up for a service and they'll sell you these leads direct, okay? But so I just lump all that into internet. So if you want to go deeper in the different companies, then that's a good example for a call, but internet's a really good way, right? Internet's one of the top three. Now, what are the pros? What are the cons about the internet? Well, my favorite thing about the internet is it's fast, okay? When I say fast, like once you turn it on, it's live. And if you guys don't already know, like there might be a time where you turn off your ads or you turn off your leads from the internet, and then eventually like you want to turn back on. Maybe you were busy, maybe you're out of town, maybe the card got declined because you spent too much that day. Something will happen and you realize they weren't on, they weren't on, you turn them back on. And I'm just telling you, once you get those leads on, dude, it's a really nice feeling to turn the leads on at 1 p.m. and have a first call at 1:30. And that's what the internet will do for you. It'll do it just like that. It doesn't always work that way, but it can. And especially if you are spending good amount of money. Now, let's talk about two favorite things about the internet is one, that it's fast. Number two, you get really big jobs. The biggest jobs that you will ever get for water damage will come from the internet after hours. I'm gonna say it again. The biggest jobs that you will get, okay, will come after hours from the internet. And these oftentimes might be a commercial job. We've landed multiple story hotel floods from the internet, multiple story commercial projects from the internet. And usually they'll come after hours because they don't know who to call otherwise, okay? Or everybody else not answering the phone. Answer the dang phone, by the way. Answer your freaking phone. Most people don't. It's ridiculous. Answer the freaking phone. There's $50,000 and $100,000 jobs coming in through this thing right here. You got to keep it on, okay? So the best things about the internet, it's fast and large jobs. Now, what are the cons about the internet? You can get bad leads from the internet, okay? A lot of you guys call them bad leads, and they're not really bad leads. And you'll call it garbage. And like, here's the deal, man. These companies, they don't intentionally sell you a crappy lead, okay? That's not the way it works. So imagine you got a situation where you buy a phone call for $1,000, okay? 33-mile radius. If you're in Dallas, Texas, you might pay $1,000 for it, okay? So if you pay $1,000 and it's a water heater that goes bad, and the water heater's in the garage, okay? That's not really a bad lead. The water heater's just in the wrong place, okay? Like there's nothing to dry out because it's in the garage. But if that water heater was in the attic, bam, baby, we're good. Does that make sense? So you got to keep your mind open. You got to get your mind right when you're going to be paying for internet leads, all right? Just be aware, like sometimes crap's going to happen. You know, another scenario that I would have happen before that sucked was like, I think a kid like knocked over a 2-gallon fish tank, you know, like, or 5-gallon. It was wet and it was water, but like they weren't going to file an insurance claim for it. You know, like sometimes you're going to get crap jobs, crap leads, but you don't just give up on it, okay? Yes, you can get some garbage, but you can also get a $100,000 job. Both of those are true. And you only got to get one of those 100K jobs to pay for the rest of the year on your internet stuff, okay? So another con about the internet is they're going to be tougher sales. They're tougher sales because these people don't know who you are. And in many cases, these companies where you buy these leads from, they may advertise like for ServPro or Service Master or whatever else. Like restoration is one of the few fields that you will actually buy your competitors' keywords, okay? Because if they're looking for ServPro, yo, I want to show up in there. You know what I'm saying? And so, and a lot of these companies, they'll do that as well. So, and you'll know this to be true because if you've ever answered the phone and be like, hey, this is Shane, thanks for calling At Me Restoration. They're like, is this ServPro? And that's what's happening. They think they're calling ServPro. People don't pay attention, dude. They Google ServPro, or they Google water damage, or it's usually ServPro. They'll Google ServPro and they'll click on the first ad they see, and then but hey, you got to still land that thing. You got to get out there. And side note, here's how you do it. If they ever call you and they say, is this ServPro? Then you're going to say, I'm sorry, you're breaking up. This is Shane. You got a leak? Hey, I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Yeah, I got you now. This is Shane. You got a leak? You got to get around the, is this ServPro objection. You must get around the objection, is this ServPro, okay? How do you do that? I'm sorry, you're breaking up. Yeah, I can hear you now. Do you have a leak? Do you have a leak? Need to find out if they have a leak, all right? Another bad thing about the internet, crazy customers, right? Like your craziest customers will just come from the internet. They just will, okay? They just will. I can think back now. We had some real duds, dude. Interesting birds. But I still played the internet game. I'm just telling you though, you just got to be aware of your crazy customers. Another thing is, the internet, a lot of times, like you're going to get called out in the ghetto. You're going to get trailers. You're going to get stuff that you don't want. You're going to get stuff that you wouldn't normally go service. But you just got to field that. You got to pay to play the internet game. So bad leads, tougher sales, crazy customers, and it can be expensive. Like you got to learn how to close those jobs. You got to learn how to ask the right questions. You got to be able to hang up on them and call them back on an unrecorded line. If you want to know how to play the internet game, go to workwithshane.com and I'll tell you more. Can't tell you all my secrets here on YouTube because some of these companies are catching on to what I tell y'all, okay? I'll tell you, but it ain't going to be out here in this public setting, right? We got to get on a call. So, internet, I love it. There's pros, there's cons. Would I use it? Absolutely. Absolutely. I love the internet, but it can be expensive, okay? So this brings me to number 2. My second, or not my second, but just a second way to get water damage jobs is insurance agents, okay? And now, when it comes to insurance agents, I know that a lot of you guys, or at least for me, I would call on insurance agents and I would think that they would send you jobs, but then I still didn't seem to get any jobs from insurance agents for a long, long time. And I was asking for the wrong thing because if you go call insurance agents, you're going to hear them say this, man, we just don't see a whole lot of claims, Shane. Fortunately, it's been quiet. Well, you can't ask for the claims. Insurance agents don't get claims. They get questions. Because here's the deal. Have you ever been out to sign a water damage job, okay, and they didn't sign with you? Like maybe a plumber sent it to you, maybe it was from the internet, but you're out there and you're trying to sign this job and the customer, they say these words right here. Hey, Shane, I like you and all, but I think I just want to call my agent. They're going to call their agent. If they call their agent, you ain't going to land that job. If you leave that job without signing it, tomorrow there's going to be a green truck in the driveway. You will not get it. If you leave that job, you will not be back. Do not leave that job. You sign that job, whatever you got to do. So where was I? Getting back to agents, okay? Agents don't always get a lot of claims. They do get a lot of questions. So we just got done saying, you've seen jobs where your client wants to call, well, your almost client wants to call and talk to their agent, right? When they call their agent, they call them and ask them a question. And so you want to be able to ask your agent, hey, do you have anybody call? Look at these. You want to ask for the questions, right? Not the claims. Because they don't call their agent and say, hey, I need to file a claim. They say, hey, I have a question. And what happens is the agent sends someone they know, like a trust out there, the green truck, out there, go look at that. So you want to build a relationship with the agent, and they don't see claims, they do see questions. When they send you out there to go look at the question, then you're going to convert that puppy to a water damage claim, right? That's how it works. Now, what are the pros? What are the cons? The biggest pro to an insurance agent referral, they are the easiest sell, okay? Because that client looks at the insurance agent as if they are the insurance company, and they're not. They're just an insurance agent, okay? But they view them as the insurance carrier themselves. And so the reason why I'm telling you this is because if the agent says, use Shane, they will sit there in a wet house for 5 days waiting on me to get there, okay? So I'm just telling you, when you get a referral from an agent, slam dunk sell. Slam dunk, right? Just slam dunk. Those are the easiest. That's the biggest pro about the agent. There are some cons about agents. Number one, agents can be high maintenance, dude. Just straight up high maintenance. They're like, that's the best way to say it. If plumbers are dogs, agents are cats. Okay? Plumbers are dogs, agents are cats. I'll ask you, do you like cats or do you like dogs? Okay? And so agents are just going to be more high maintenance. They can just be a little whiny, a little. So that's what agents might do. The other thing about agents is once an agent can write a policy, they can write that policy anywhere in that state, okay? So you will tend to get longer and wider service areas from an agent. So think of it this way. If I have a home here in Franklin and then I sell that home and I move 40 minutes away or an hour away, I might just have my same agent write me that new policy. Does that make sense? And so even though that agent is not near me, so you can get agents that will actually send you an hour and 2 hours away. Okay, and I know this because I've had an agent freaking sent us on it was 5, 6, 7 o'clock on a Friday out there to go look at something a couple hours away. And we went out there and it was a complete garbage, it was garbage. And so I sent my team out there on a weekend or, going into after hours for this douchebag customer. Okay. And then the agent was kind of pissy about the whole thing, I was just like, no thanks. So anyway, agents can be high maintenance. I'm just telling you, they can be high maintenance and they can send you out on long drives, and drives suck, okay? Now, here's another con about agents. They don't always send you ideal jobs. Like when you get with an agent, you're gonna take care of all their stuff or they're gonna find somebody that will. And this goes back to them being high maintenance. Like if you guys don't do mold or you don't do rebuild or something, there is a chance that they're gonna wanna refer someone that does do all those things. Or said differently, you might have to take some of the job types you don't like just to make sure that they don't scratch their itch with somebody else, one of your competitors. Does that make sense? So higher maintenance, longer drives, and they will give you job types that aren't ideal. Another great example of an unideal job type is I got this referral from multiple agents, which was this weird. People running over brick mailboxes. I don't know how common this is, but the agents still get these calls. They still get these calls. And when they get these calls, and a lot of times they're not even covered by insurance, right? Or it's not going to be a claim. You're going to get a garbage job and you have to be like, oh, thank you so much for that crappy job, but you don't have to pay for them either. The agents, you don't have to pay them a referral fee, but that could be a con as much as it is a pro. You know what I'm saying? For whatever it's worth, right? So you'll just get unideal jobs, stuff that a fence, a tree falling on a fence, just weird stuff, okay? Agents will give you those. And the other con about agents is this, you're limited on pricing. Because that agent is sending you the job, you have to play nicer with that adjuster, okay? Whereas if I get a job from the internet or I get a job from a plumber, it's not from that agent, bro, I don't care what that adjuster says. I'm gonna do my thing. But if that job comes from an adjuster, I'm bound by his pricing because he referred me, and you need to play nice. They send it to you. And if it's from an agent though, you don't want to lose an agent because of you're fighting with the adjuster. Does that make sense? And so some of the rates that you're normally able to fetch on some jobs, you may not get that when it comes from the agent. Now, I'm saying all this like there's a lot of cons that come from the agent, because there are a lot of cons. But let's not forget, these are lay down sales, dude. And like, I'm just telling you. So let's get back down to number 3 in this example, which is plumbers, okay? What are the pros about plumbers? Well, number 1, they're easier sales than the internet, but they're not as easy as an agent. And I say it that way because like, if you get referred by a plumber, you still don't want that person calling their agent. I'm gonna say that again. Even if you get referred by the plumber, you do not want that person calling their agent, because that agent is very likely got their own people that they want to send out there. Does that make sense? And so you don't want them to call an agent. Pro tip, never mention insurance over the phone. When you're talking to somebody on an intake call, okay, they're calling for water damage, do not mention insurance on the phone. Never, ever, ever mention insurance until you are in their living room with that work authorization. Why? Because you don't know that they were thinking insurance when they called you. Most people are thinking $200 and a shop vac. That's it. And so you have to leave them thinking that until you get out there. You don't want to try and tell them think insurance, because then they're going to stop what they're doing. They're going to call their agent, and there's going to be a green truck sitting in the driveway before you get there. Does that make sense? Y'all follow me? Never ever mention insurance over the phone. Never ever, ever, ever mention insurance over the phone. If they've already mentioned insurance and all that, that's a different story. But just tell your team real simple. Don't mention insurance on the phone. Wait till you get there. The other reason why I like plumbers a lot is a tight service radius. A plumber is not going to drive an hour and a half to go set a commode, bro. Okay? They're going to work really tight service radiuses. And I'll tell you this, do you want to drive a long way to your jobs or a short distance to your jobs? The best way to get nice, tight service radiuses is in the plumbers that service that area. All you got to do is go to Franklin, Tennessee, Google plumber near Franklin, Tennessee. There's going to be 3 plumbers pop up in the map pack. Boom, those are the 3 that you got to land. Guess where my business was? Franklin, Tennessee. Guess who's number 1? Ben Frank Plumbing. Guess where we got our jobs? Ben Frank Plumbing. Now you know. If you want to work in a certain area, you got to find out what plumbers dominate that market, and you got to learn how to get those plumbers, bro. Really, really easy. That's it. Now, getting plumbers may be a little tougher for some people, and we'll get to that in a con, but like, I'm just telling you that the tight service radius is it. And if you want help mastering plumbers, we got the best program in the world. Go to workmachine.com. and we'll get on a call and talk to you about it. The other thing I like about plumbers is you get proper job types. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna get no freaking brick mailboxes that get ran over. You're not gonna get a tree fall on a fence. You're gonna get water jobs, because you don't call a plumber for anything other than water leaks. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna get better, cleaner jobs, better job types. The other reason why I like plumbers, I put this in a pro, but you could consider it a con, is you can pay them. You can't pay an insurance agent. Let me say that differently. Some of you guys do pay insurance agents, and if y'all do, that's fine. Just know that certain areas of the country that may be considered illegal, and I ain't advocating anybody breaking the law, although I do speed every day. You know what I'm saying? But dude, even the cops speed. So what are we doing here? Just, use good judgment. If it's illegal to pay agents, I don't know that I'm paying agents. You know what I'm saying? Like, just straight up. I'm aggressive, but I don't cheat on my taxes. Does that make sense? Like, I'm aggressive, but I don't cheat. Like, and here's the next thing. Side note, pro tip. Dude, just keep everything above board when in doubt. I don't try to hide money. You know what I'm saying? Like, when and you don't need to either. When someone says, hey, how much is this? And they're going to write you a check, who would I make it out to? Run it through the business. Run it through the business. Don't tell them just, hey, you got to write that $8,000 check out to Shane O'Dacier. Number one, it is a business job, okay? Like, bad things happen to people that do bad things, okay? You follow me? And so, just tell them to pay it to your business and run it through your business. There's reasons why it's going to help you on any front. Number one, you don't want to be a liar. Number two, you don't want to get popped, okay? An audit. And if you do, just do it on the up and up. Now, if they got $8,000 of cash, I don't know what I would do. Now, if you're going to hand me $8,000 worth of dead presidents, I don't know that I'm going to run that to the business, but you follow what I'm saying here? For whatever that's worth. Just use your head, stay on the up and up. The other reason why you want to do this ultimately is you're ultimately going to want to build up credit for you and your business, and you need to have money to show that. So just be above board and do it the right way. Okay. So, but getting back to paying plumbers, you can pay them. And it's not that we're bribing the plumbers with money, but we're trying to say thank you. And here's the analogy I use all the time. It's just easier to get a dog to sit when you can give it a treat. It's easier to get a plumber to send you jobs when you can incentivize that action that you want. When you can give them a reward for doing what you want them to do, you're going to be more likely to get what you want in return. Everybody wins, okay? So that doesn't make them bad people, right? So those are the pros. Easier sales on the internet, tight service radius, proper job types, you can pay them. And I'll tell you the other thing about plumbers that I really like, single family residences are the cleanest policies, the cleanest claims. In case you guys don't know, when you're doing a water job, commercial policies can be really weird, and condo and HOA policies really wonky really fast. Like you see weird stuff, like trailers too, like they're just weird policies. If you're doing like a condo or HOA or something like that, there'll be certain situations where the policy will cover the walls but not the floor, or the floor but not the walls, the window to the walls to the floor, like any of that. And so they're just weird. And there'll be some that will have like a $3,000 policy limit, a $3,000 policy limit. And they do that for a few different reasons. Not to go too crazy and deep, but like there's going to be an HOA that'll have a policy, and there's going to be the actual unit owner that has a policy. That's already getting hard to explain. And there's going to be two deductibles, and one pays for this, and one pays for that. And you get a lot of he said, she said, and finger pointing, and then it's just like, man, it's a bunch of garbage. You don't have any of that on a single family structure. Single family structure is just easier. It's just straight up. And so I like those the best. I'm not telling you I'm not going to do a condo, but like, you just got to be aware, like if you're doing a condo job, this is the reason why like on our intake form, we always ask what type of structure was it? Is this for an apartment, a condo, townhome, single family residence, a trailer, home or business? We want to know that because if it's not single family residence, we want to be alerted because it could be a commercial job. It could be a trailer. It could be an HOA. And so we had these things built, these little workflow triggers that if it was anything other than single family residence, and it was over $15,000 or whatever that is, hey, alert me as the owner because I don't want them running up a big bill on an HOA policy when there might only be $3,000 of coverage. If it's a $20,000 job and that customer ain't got but $3,000 of coverage and they ain't got a pot to piss in, bro, that ain't no $20,000 job. It sounds like a $3,000 job. That's all you're gonna get. And ask me how I know. I had to learn the hard way, okay? Yeah, single family residences, those are the best looking policies. And so those are the structures that I like the best. And the best way to get those residential plumbers. This is how I worked my way back into that, okay? So let's look at the cons. So those are the pros about the plumbers. And the cons, they can be expensive. Plumbers can be really expensive. Like when it comes to plumbers, some of them are gonna want money, some of them won't want money. Some of them will take money, some of them will not take money. Like you're gonna find a lot all over the board. There's different ways to incentivize the plumber. It might be leads, it might be you're sending them money, it could be any number of things, right? But usually it's gonna be you're gonna send them jobs or leads, or it's gonna be money. But just know this, you gotta speak their love language, okay? And if the owner wants leads, okay, if the owner wants jobs, but the technician wants money, you gotta give them both. Okay, like it doesn't do you any good to satisfy the owner's scratch and then not satisfy the technician's scratch. And there's going to be certain cases where plumbers, like their interests don't line up. The owner wants one thing, the technician wants another. Like that's called dysfunctional, and you ain't gonna get much out of those. Plumbers can be a little bit difficult from that standpoint. And there's gonna be some plumbers that are just really expensive. And listen, some of you dudes already, like y'all gonna tell me they're charging $2,500. Number one, if y'all like. Somebody might ask for $2,500, but there's not a city in the country. There's not a city in the country where all the plumbers get $2,500. There's not one. Now there's plumbers in every city in the country that might ask for $2,500, but like I bet you would ask for $10,000 too on your water jobs. But just because you ask for them doesn't mean you get them. Okay? Does that make sense? So these guys might want they might get $2,500 every now and then. Okay? It's just not sustainable for a long period of time, okay? And the next thing about plumbers, I would tell you this. You can get plumbers in every city in the United States. You can get plumbers, even Los Angeles, New York, you can get plumbers for under $1,000 a job. I'm just telling you, when you do it right and you're building the right type of relationships, you're taking care of them. And like, now this isn't talking about the prostitute plumbers because you got church girls and you got prostitutes. You know what I'm saying? Some want money, some don't. Some want a bunch of money. So the ones that are prostitutes, they're going to be prostitutes, okay? Like that's not the ones you're going for. We want relationships, you know what I'm saying? And so But what I'm trying to tell you is you can get good plumbers in every city in the country for $600 to $800, $700, $900, like under $1,000. We clear? But it is possible you can give them $20,000 and they'll probably take it. Okay, but that doesn't mean that's what it is. So get that negative thinking out of your head. All right, whatever that's worth. But they can be expensive. They can be expensive. The other con about plumbers is they can be hard to get. They can be hard to land if you don't know how to do it. For me, plumbers are really easy. You got to find out what they want and give it to them, but it can't be about money alone. And all I'm telling you is if you want plumbers, let me know. That's our jam. We do that, workwithshane.com. We're the best in the world at it for sure, okay? And that's what I did in my company, and I help other guys do it. But this YouTube channel is just here to give you free value, and if y'all want me to help you do it, then go to workwithshane.com and I'll help you do it, okay? So to recap it, they can be expensive and they can be hard to get, okay? But I'll tell you this, getting plumbers is easy for me. Keeping them is a little bit harder. Okay? So we've gone over those. Internet, agents, and plumbers. Now let's go back. Which one do you think is my favorite? Well, you can probably tell just by looking and listening to all the pros and the cons. Plumbers, man. Plumbers. Why do I like plumbers the best? Single family resident structures. I love those. Tight service radiuses. Like, what's not to love? The job types that I want, that's it. What's not to love? You can pay them, but don't have to in certain cases. What's not to love? Dude, I'm just telling you. And plumbers are dogs and agents are cats. Are you a cat person or a dog person? So anyway, to go back through, if I were starting all over again today, what would I do? I would do them all. I would do them all. But plumbers is by far my favorite. So the internet is fast, so I would start with the internet. Okay, turn it on. You can hit critical mass with the internet. The critical mass is when your profit's greater than your expenses. The internet should do that for you, okay? You should be able to get $10,000 to $30,000 a month in mitigation from the internet. And if you're not, something's wrong. It's just something's going on wrong. You're not doing it right. You're not charging enough money. You're not converting your jobs. You live in a town where there's under 15,000 people, like whatever it might be. But you should be getting $10,000 to $30,000 a month, at least from the internet. You should. And if not, like you're just leaving money on the table. That's fine. You know what I mean? But the internet's the fastest. And then from there, which one would I choose if I had to do plumbers or agents? I would do plumbers. But I would just tell you, once you hit critical mass, master agents or master plumbers. Master agents or master plumbers. That's what I would tell you to do. So hopefully this video is helpful. If you guys want more, then just go to workwithshane.com. We'll get on a quick call. We'll help you out. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next video. If you guys enjoyed that video, I've got 3 things for you. First off, there's a couple of other videos somewhere on the screen. You can click those now to go watch more content about growing your restoration company. Number 2, if you haven't already subscribed, click my face below and that will subscribe you to the channel. And finally, if you would like for me to help you grow your restoration company, go to workwithshane.com, put in your information, and let's get on a 15-minute call. We'll see you then.